J-Hope was on the radio show program on June 18, 2025, called 배철수의 음악캠프, 배철수's music camp, promoting his new single, Killin It Girl. And this was actually his second time on the show because BTS as a group showed up in 2020 as a full group. So this time he dropped by solo and he was really at ease the whole time. Having a conversation with the DJ Bae Chul Soo. And before you get into everything that he shared, a quick refresher or introduction for international armies who might not be familiar with Bae Chul Soo. He's a legendary Korean DJ and a musician. He's been hosting Bae Chul Soo's music camp on MBC Radio for over 30 years, and it's one of Korea's longest running, most respected music shows. And like I said, BTS as a group popped in on September 15, 2020, which was also the radio program's 30th anniversary year. And yeah, it was a good time, a comfortable space for them. They had deep stories, funny off-guard moments, and lots of mutual respect. And Bae Chul Soo has even talked about how, seeing BTS perform at a festival abroad in the past, and he has publicly praised the group multiple times. Back in 2020, there were live English subtitles available. This time, no subtitles that I was able to find. So here's a video of recapping what they talked about during the program. All right. So here is everything they said, including family stories, military life, Killin It Girl, and Lollapalooza and his future plans. All right. First of all, right off the bat, J-Hope mentioned that he hadn't eaten dinner because he had a pre-recording for a music show coming up right after the radio program. And he also said he loved the promotional poster so much that he took a picture of it. And Bae Chul Soo, there was a funny moment. So Bae Chul Soo did his military service in Jeolla province. And J-Hope is from the region. Gwangju City is part of the Jeolla province. And when Hobi slipped into a bit of Gwangju dialect, during a conversation, he said "뭐더라," what for? Bae Chul Soo caught it right away. So that was funny. About J-Hope's parents. So last time, the DJ Bae Chul Soo signed an LP for Hobi's parents because they're big 송골매 fans, which is Bae Chul Soo's music band, old music band. And when Hobi said that he'll be back on the show to his parents, his dad was especially so happy. And this time, Bae Chul Soo gave him another LP with Hobi's name on it, but told him that, give this to your dad, right? So that was heartwarming. And there was a question about whether J-Hope plans everything long term. So I think either I don't know, they did a pre-interview or the DJ watched the latest episode from The Manager, 전참시, 전지적 참견 시점, where J-Hope talked about how he made 3-year plan before he got enlisted in the military. And J-Hope said that he has his own style by now, and he works best with detailed plans and taking off tasks like missions or checklists. And even when resting, J-Hope tries to take care of himself, like skincare that he skipped before, and he plans work tightly, but doesn't plan his days off, no strict schedule like that. So going with the flow when it's off the schedule. What about his fitness? There was a question about his fitness and abs. So he said that his abs, which you were able to witness recently thanks to the promotion of Killin It Girl, J-Hope said that his abs show mostly because he lost weight. So they're not some hidden magic tricks, he said. And in the military, he kept exercising, so that probably helped. So no fancy routine. He just eats less. These days, he says he eats about 1.5 meals a day. But he said he avoids overtraining so he doesn't get injured, but does core exercises daily without skipping. What about military story? So right after his base assignments, he played soccer, but he pushed himself too hard during a game and sprained his ankle. and that so he hasn't played soccer since. There's a funny saying how in the Korean military, soccer is the root of all evils. That's partly a joke and partly true because the majority of the injuries that happen to soldiers, servicemen in the Korean military is because of playing soccer too hard, too hardcore. And even the officers told him not to play because people kept getting hurt. And then he talked about how serving as just a person, 정호석, rather than J-Hope, made him see himself differently. It reminded him how precious his career is and was, and that he shouldn't take any of it lightly for granted. And then they talked about his childhood, like at school retreats. J-Hope never felt shy dancing in front of people, his teachers or students, and that led him to dance more, discover music, and finally audition at big hits. And his father, was actually a literature teacher, and he was super against the idea of his son becoming a musician at first, but now he has become his biggest fan, supports him more than anyone. And he attended every single Hope on the Stage concert in Korea. The first 3 that happened in Seoul, and the last 2 happened in Goyang, right? And he talked about his world tour. Thanks to the fans, the tour went really well. And he talked about how on June 13th, the members, BTS members themselves, asked to join him on stage. So he was talking about Jin and Jungkook, and he was so grateful about that. And then the DJ said that it's clear that BTS didn't just come together as a group for music when they first formed themselves, but they have a very solid bond and real brotherhood, and that's one of the core factors for the success of the group. And J-Hope agreed, saying they all instinctively know what to do, and that's why they can last so long as a team. And he was asked if he would release a live concert album. He said maybe, but no plans yet, since a lot would have to be arranged with the coordination and stuff. And of course, there was a question about full BTS activities. And during the world tour, J-Hope said he felt how many fans are still waiting for a full group BTS and anticipating for it. And there's a difference between group and solo activities. Like when you're solo, all attention, all eyes focus on just you. So the pressure is heavier. But he said that he prepares thoroughly. So once he's ready, he feels confident showing it all. And he thinks that once all the members finish their service, they will start preparing as a group again in a quick manner. But no promises yet. But they will work fast to bring good music. So no concrete plans yet. At least nothing that he could share at this point. What about Killin It Girl? He said he prepped this during the Hope on the Stage tour. Schedule was so tight that he had maybe a week to rehearse total. And he felt that this song had to show the maturity of his next chapter. And it was recorded in the US. And he and the producer clicked very fast and, talking it out and recording right away. And he immediately thought that this is mine. I had to do this one. And J-Hope planned it carefully so it would feel bolder than his previous singles. And he explained that the phrase "Killin It Girl" it can mean like you're doing awesome, like killing it. And yeah, I think the DJ asked him who he refers to when he says "Killin It Girl," but no specific subject. But he also mentioned that "killing it" is an English phrase saying that you're doing awesome. And then, Soo, and he did a challenge for the song. What about Lollapalooza? So, this time, he's gonna perform in Berlin on July 12th and 13th, right? And he said that while working on Jack in the Box, his solo album, he had already dreamed of playing big festivals, and he wanted people who love music lovers, to judge him purely as an artist and musician. And then the Berlin set will feel rawer and rougher, he said, more raw. So I'm quite excited about that. How, this time it will feel different from the last time he performed in Chicago. Probably more mature, more experienced, right? And then about his future solo plans. So it's basically wrapping up everything he had aimed for in 2025. And since BTS music and BTS work needs to pick up again, he will take it a bit easier in the second half of the year in terms of his solo plans. But there's an actually exhibition that is going on right now about J-Hope, showing his life story so far, plus a peek at what he will do next. The exhibition is called And What? And it's happening in Seoul, Hongdae, until June 22nd. Something like this. So he talked about that very briefly. And the DJ asked him about his ultimate goal. And J-Hope said that he wants to keep building his own clear musical style, something that only J-Hope can pull off. And he has so many genres that he wants to try that he's constantly thinking about how to shape it all, and he wants to keep performing for a long time with the people who genuinely enjoy his music, and that's great to hear about. In terms of music preferences and playlists, these days, he mentioned that playlist curation on streaming platforms is working great. So he checks today's top hits often to see what's trending globally, and also Billboard chart as well. And he said that he used to listen to a lot of more hip hop, still listens to Korean music, K-pop too, but not as much as before. So that was pretty interesting. As for song recommendations, he recommended Somber, Back to Friends, and Stevie Wonder, I Just Called to Say I Love You. And he said that Stevie Wonder's song says what he wants to tell his fans. He even imagined ending a show with it someday. In fact, when we watched the episode, The Manager, or 천참시, Stevie Wonder was one of the songs that he played in the morning, right after he woke up. First, he played Sunday Morning by Maroon 5, because I think it was literally Sunday morning, and then he played Stevie Wonder. So that was interesting. All right, and then last but not least, J-Hope said that just sitting down to talk with Bae Chul Soo alone was an honor, and he was perfectly happy and thankful just to chat like this. Okay, so that was overall a great casual conversation. Once again, nothing groundbreaking, and everything that J-Hope mentioned was, if you're an old-time ARMY, you're already familiar with what he said. But it's great seeing him again on this show, because back in 2020, when BTS first topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 2 weeks straight with Dynamite, the DJ Bae Chul Soo actually got emotional on air. Here's an article that talks about it. And the production team later shared that they had never seen him choke up like that in decades of broadcasting, because for Bae Chul Soo, introducing the Billboard chart every week for 30 years and finally announcing a Korean artist at number 1 was a milestone that he never imagined that he would witness. So you could imagine how much genuine pride he has for BTS, not just as an iconic group, but as juniors, 후배, who keep rewriting history. So, you could imagine how seeing J-Hope back in the studio, like chatting so comfortably and talking about what's next, such a great experience. And hearing him say that he'll be back with all 7 members. So it would hit differently. Okay. And I'm looking forward to, as you guys all are, BTS comeback and perhaps potential comeback to this radio program as well, just like we have seen it happen in 2020. All right. I hope this was informative. Feel free to leave comments. What was your favorite moment? And then let me know what you thought about this show. All right? Let's stay positive, respectful, and classy. Peace and love. Bye-bye.